Oh man, I'm preparing for some more pain on Bitcoin. I'm going to explain why, but you can see here on the chart, Bitcoin is starting to create some weakness. We've been struggling for a while here, and it's about time we called a spade a spade. We have got the non-farm payrolls out very, very shortly. We're expecting this to come in at 239,000 new jobs versus the 311 in the previous month. We're going to have to watch this, very important. We also need to look at the average hourly earnings, expected at 0.3 versus 0.2 the previous month. So they've even priced in a little bit of increases in the wages. If we get a miss, if the labor market comes in too hot, or remember, even if it comes in too soft, this market could throw a tantrum and we could be seeing Bitcoin fall to 27,000 flat, fall to 26 even, and I'm prepared for 25. You guys know over the last few weeks here, I've been shouting ever since this pump that we could be seeing a retest. 26,000 or 25,000 in that region is perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, and I'm prepared for that. If we're able to bounce, that's absolutely fine, but so far, Bitcoin has not showed us the strength right now that it wants to bounce. If you look at this action we're seeing here, we're seeing a sideways consolidation, but when you zoom into the 4-hourly like we just were, look at what you start to see. We've not been able to hold our 4-hourly EMA ribbon to create any momentum to the upside. Now, there is a slight chance that we're able to get a really good reading today on the non-farm payrolls, and the market's really happy, creates a big candle, and off it goes through 29,000. But is it very probable right now? Remember, we've already had the jobs figure earlier in the week. We had the ADP private jobs figure earlier in the week, and the markets weren't happy with both of those. So the market's being a little bit fussy right now, where they want that jobs figure to come in right perfect in the middle. If it's too high and there are too many jobs, oh no, inflation. If it's too low, oh no, you're driving us into a recession. So we're in a tricky position going into this non-farm payroll reading in the next couple of hours. And so what I'm looking for is a retracement. If we do get a retracement down into 27 flat, that's my first level of nibble. If we go into that 26,000, I'll nibble even heavier, and 25,000 would be a lovely opportunity for me to be buying well into the CMA ribbon. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in terms of structure. Now, if you start to look at what's going on here, because we've been consolidating for a long time now, if you do come down to 25,000 flat, you will actually start to lose your daily EMA ribbon. So that's not a great look now. So we need Bitcoin to hold its EMA ribbon, which gives it a final chance really to turn around at 25,400. So that's a level we need to watch out for here on Bitcoin. Now the real question is, what do you do in a market like this? What do you do in a boring market where you see price action just move sideways? This is where it's imperative that you guys have a game plan. Right? You have a game plan, you have a purpose, you know what you're trying to achieve in crypto. So that way you're not just waking up every day aimlessly trying to navigate this crazy path of crypto. Do you have a plan? Do you have a dream portfolio? We spoke about this at the end of 2022 going into this year. Did you draw out a plan to say by the end of 2023, this is how many Bitcoin I want to hold, this is how many Ethereum I want to hold, this is what I want the composition of my portfolio to look like? If you've got that game plan, it makes your DCAing much easier. You're able to take out the emotions because let's face it, right now in this market, we've been sideways for a very long time, since March, mid-March, and it can get frustrating. And you look at Fear and Greed Index and you're sitting at 64. This market is still quite greedy relatively. So there could be a pain ahead. If you've made it this far into the video and you someday want to be able to read the markets, do technical analysis, trade as we are doing on this channel, then perhaps you may want to check out my free technical analysis from scratch course over on Skillshare. For those who aren't familiar, Skillshare is an online education platform. You sign up for a nominal amount each month and you get access to a wide variety of different courses. I personally use it to learn all sorts of things, from video editing to financial to using Excel and various other bits and pieces that you may want to learn. It's far better than YouTube on those elements, because on YouTube everything is about retention, whereas with a course you can put things in a structured curriculum, and that is exactly what I've done with my TA course. It's completely free for the first 30 days if you click the link in the description, ijaz.uk/TA, to take advantage of the TA course. Let me know what you think about it, and let's get back into this video. And so my question to you guys is, were you chasing green candles, right? Were you chasing these green candles all the way to the top here as we ran close to 29,000 here? And therefore, if we fall to 25, will your conviction be the same? And if it's not, and you're going to be one of those that panic, that when Bitcoin goes to 25, everybody's going to be shouting, oh no, Bitcoin's going back to 20, it's going to go to 19 and 18. Are you going to panic, or are you going to be the ones that when this falls into the red territory, you're going to say, hang on a second, I want to be buying when the markets are fearful? When people suddenly rotate just because of leverage or greed or liquidations and all the other things going on, and they suddenly stop believing in a certain crypto, isn't that when I want to be buying? Because I have conviction in the asset? That's what you've got to be asking yourself. And that's not going to happen with you just waking up one morning and saying, hey, I'm going to become this crypto investor. No, you need a game plan. You need to write it down. You need to work through it, and you need to treat it like a professional. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that they can treat trading as like this thing that they can spend 20, 30 minutes doing and make thousands of dollars. Now, if you're one of the few exceptional traders who are able to navigate this market, great. But for the majority of you, and I know people don't like to hear this, trading is going to be very difficult. What you want to be learning to do, which is what every single person can do, is invest pragmatically and sustainably. DCA, buy into your favorite cryptos, build conviction, hold for longer term time horizons, right? That's the message people don't want to tell you. And it's always that time in the market always trumps trying to time the market, right? And that's the message I want to leave you with today is, look, these markets can become extremely frustrating, right? It can sit here at crazy levels like this for 27, and then it can quickly flush down to 25. And that can wreck most of you if you're built around this, false belief, or you're only buying crypto because your friend told you about it. You're the ones who are going to get wrecked. The ones who will not get wrecked are the ones who believe in the asset class, who have conviction, who have a game plan that says, if it goes to this price point, I'm going to nibble, right? If it goes to this price point, then I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to panic and FOMO in, right? As soon as it's decided to go on its move here on Bitcoin, I said, I'm not buying. I'm not FOMOing into that. I don't need to. If we get a pullback, I'll nibble. And that's exactly what my game plan is. 27, 26, 25, I've got my nibble set, right? I'm not chasing on the door of 29. If this wants to break through 29 and go towards 30, I'm good. My bags are loaded. I'm happy to go. If we get a pullback, that's when I'll allocate more. And in order to be able to allocate more, you're going to need cash on the sidelines. What's your plan to get cash on the sidelines to buy the dip? Do you have one? Right? Do you have one? Or are you just sitting here watching all these crypto videos, but the reality is you've not actually fostered a game plan? It's great. You can watch my videos every single day. You can watch 10 other crypto YouTuber videos every single day. But are you sitting down, taking a piece of paper, take yourself a piece of paper and write down a plan? Is it that difficult, or are you just going to treat this like an amateur? Because that's the difference here. Are you going to let 2023 be another year that goes by and Bitcoin will do its thing, right? Bitcoin will have moments where it moves, but will you take advantage of it? Bitcoin went from 15,500 to 29,000 in a couple of weeks. Did you take advantage of that? Or were you sitting on the sidelines? Did you only have a little bit invested because you never had conviction? In that case, learn more about crypto. Listen to founder interviews. Do your research. Learn about fundamentals. Learn about technicals. I put a free course out there. Take advantage of all these different things that are available to you to level up. When you level up, then these things become a lot easier. And investing is very difficult because the biggest part of investing is managing your psychology. It's to stop procrastinating, stop chasing after greed, and stop getting scared every time there's FUD, right? You've got to be able to have this steady baseline. You can't be up and down like a yo-yo. And that's the challenging part about investing. Cool, so that's what we need to be looking at in this market. Now, what are we looking at in terms of a weekly? Am I concerned? Well, the main concern we have here on the Bitcoin chart is you are running into very important resistance, okay? Let me just zoom out and show you what it is we are facing here. If you look at where my cursor is right here, this is very important resistance. So if you go back here into June 2021, this is where we bounced in that 28 to 29,000 region in the summer of 2021, and then Bitcoin ran towards November time later in 2021 and created the $69,000 high. So that's a very important level. Similarly, on the way down, Bitcoin faced some difficulty, right? It faced some difficulty, the bears, in throwing Bitcoin below that 29,000. But eventually it did it after a couple of weekly candles here. You saw it did throw it back down with the help of Terra Luna collapse. So we know that this 28 to 29,000 region was never going to be easy. It was always going to be a stronghold because it was support, which is now being turned into resistance. So therefore, you should be patient to say, hang on a second, we had a crazy pump 4 weeks ago where Bitcoin went up 26%. We've now had 2.5 weeks here where we've gone sideways. We've not even gone down, guys. Those are doji candles where we've gone sideways. And we've not given up any of the gains that we've just had from this crazy pump. This weekly candlestick, which I'm on right now, took us from 21,800 to where we're at. People forget that. And we've not just retraced all the way back down to 21,000. No, we haven't. So we've not even given up 1 week's of gain on Bitcoin here in that crazy week we had. So we've got to look at this and say, yes, we're running into resistance, but the bulls are showing some strength. They are trying to work through this on the weekly time frame. The problem is on the hourly and the 4-hourly, they are showing some weakness and they look like it wants to come back down to 25 to collect some support. But that 25 to 26 region is okay. If I put my cursor at where that's at right now, this is where 25 is on my cursor, right? And so all you're doing there is you're coming slightly into your weekly EMA ribbon, which there's nothing wrong about, right? There's nothing wrong with coming into this weekly EMA ribbon here to collect some support on the weekly, as long as you don't lose the EMA ribbon, okay? So coming down, collecting support from this EMA ribbon, getting some strength, and then bouncing for a more powerful move to break through that tough level of 29,000, 30,000, that's going to be imperative. And again, another way of showing you this, let's remove that. Let's bring out our VPVR. Look at this, right? You can see there's this heavy candlestick here. Once we clear this, it will get a little bit easier in the gap that needs to be filled thereafter. Now, relatively speaking, the battle we're fighting now wasn't as difficult as the one we just fought. The one we just fought at 25,000 was a lot more difficult, right? But we managed to clear that with patience. But look how long it took us. It took us from June 2022 all the way to this candlestick on March 2023, right? It took a solid 9 months to finally break through that 25,000 level. So for us to just think, oh, we're just going to straight away break through 29, no, it takes a little bit of time. It's taken a couple of weeks here for Bitcoin to consolidate. So we've got to keep an eye on this. But once we do break through 29.30, then all the price targets get really, really exciting. If you just look at this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which again is on the weekly chart, the break of this, which is what we've already broken out from with this big weekly candle, brings you all the way up into that territory of 35,000. So you've got a lot of a gap to fill here. Because we fell so quickly, I'm expecting that to fill quite quickly to the upside as well. Once we clear through this cluster here, this is the little cluster we're struggling with right here. Once we can clear that, look how quickly we fell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candlesticks in a row. The bears decimated Bitcoin to the downside. So similarly, I expect us to be able to fill some of this gap quite quickly and quite strongly once we clear through this tough level. With a head and shoulders pattern, it's okay to come and get a retest. That's perfectly normal in the structure of what makes up a head and shoulders pattern. Is you can break out, come back round, test the neckline at 25,000, and then go create a higher high past 29, past 30, and then start working towards your 35K target, okay? That's perfectly normal to see on the inverse head and shoulders pattern. So there you have it, guys. A very important time for Bitcoin. We do get the non-farm payrolls. If there is anything that's critically important on there, I will update you guys, but look out for that figure. The market's going to want it just right. So if you're confused why the market's, reacting a certain way, look at the number. If it's extreme in any direction, if it's a really high number or a really low number, expect the markets to be confused. If it's close on the number of jobs created, as well as the average hourly earnings year on year and month on month, then we could see a rally. Then we can see more momentum, getting us back to that 29,000 level. If there is anything critical, I will update you guys with a separate video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.